KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Right now, Gmsa, San Antonio police investigating after a man was shot in the head overnight. Sarah Acosta is standing by with the latest in a live report.
For only the third time in history, a U.S. impeachment trial is underway. Find out what one alleged Trump insider is saying about what he claims was a pressure campaign against Ukraine. I'm Karina Mitchell in New York with that story coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam, really can't see much this morning, only because it's directed down now, so you can actually see Central Catholic across the street. But looking at the skyline this morning, there's no skyline.
Good morning to you. It is Friday. It is January 17th. Hope you slept well last night. Stephanie in again this morning, and it is super foggy out there this morning. I was telling Mike as we were getting ready to go on the air this morning, I think this is the foggiest morning of the week so far, by far.
Yes, it looked like a different city when I was turning that corner on I-10, the fine silver curve coming into downtown. Yes.
Hard to see much of anything out there, and Mike's here with an update. I assume there's got to be some sort of fog advisory in effect?
Last I looked, no. Now, unless they issued one, because the other day they issued one right at 4:30 as we were just going on the air. But
so what's the criteria for something like that?
Just how the widespread, very low visibility, and how long you think it's going to be lasting. Well, so we do have some really thick fog here in town now. In places earlier this week, it was even thicker, but here in town, this is some of the thickest, and this is live cam over there by the airport, and once again, you can't even see across 410, pardon me, and visibility is down to just basically a couple hundred yards, if that, out there at the airport. Quarter mile up around Bernie. New Braunfels down to a mile. Same thing, Randolph. Pleasanton is okay. Thicker fog out there toward the Hill Country, LaGrange, Gonzales, and we also have some showers as well. Had some very hefty downpours, third of an inch of rain officially out at the airport yesterday, but some folks picked up a heck of a lot more than that, especially just to the west of San Antonio and portions of the Hill Country. We have more of these showers obviously developing, and there's, I know that, not telling you any surprises, there's a lot of humidity out there this morning, and with all that moisture in the atmosphere, some of the downpours today, again, potentially could be on the heavy side, so watch out for that, and maybe a thunderstorm or two. Once again, temperatures, we've got 40s in the Hill Country and then 60s elsewhere, so we've got a 20, 30 degree difference in temperatures in places. A lot of mountain cedar, a lot of mold, and more showers today. We are going to be staying basically steady this morning in the low 60s. At least we are below where we've been the past couple of mornings. Try and squeeze something out of this. 70 for a high temperature later on today. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms. We'll still have some lingering showers tomorrow, but then we're going to finally get back to January weather. More on that coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Nick Solis. So we got fog, we got rain. Any accidents?
We got two major accidents, Mike. First one's going to be I-10 and 410. Now this is going to be on the 410 flyover ramp from I-10 eastbound going towards the airport. It looks like it's a major accident involving two 18-wheelers that just came out minutes ago. We do have some footage on TransGuide of that accident, and this accident just came out right around the same time. It's southbound IH-35 on-ramp to Northeast Loop 410. It's actually blocking a whole left lane and the on-ramp to 410 going towards the airport as well. Let's take a look at these accidents. This is at 35 in Randolph. They kind of changed the angle on me. They had a little better angle here a second ago, but what it's showing there is it's cut off right here at the bottom screen. They cut off the entrance ramp. That's going to 410 up there. And then here we have I-10 in Callahan. This is the on-ramp to 410. So a lot of traffic going on this morning. I'll keep you updated and advised, and please be careful because it's very foggy. Mark, Stephanie?
New this morning, police investigating a shooting where a man was shot in the head over on the east side.
This happening near a Stripes in the 4000 block of East Houston Street.
Sarah Acosta live with the latest.
Good morning, and this is the location where police say they found that man that was shot, and he was able to drive to this location after he was shot in the head. Police say they got the call just before 12:30 this morning to the 4000 block of East Houston Street after police say there was some kind of altercation involving the victim not too far from this Stripes at the Edge Apartments. That's right off I-10 behind a Starbucks. It was at that complex where shots were fired. The man who was shot was able to flee the location in his car. Police say the victim rammed the gate of the complex with his car. Police found the man's bumper by the highway. That's when he pulled into the Stripes right next to the entrance of Wheatley Heights Sports Complex. He was taken to Gmsa in critical condition with a gunshot wound to his head. Police say at this time they don't have much information about the suspects or suspects involved, and they continue to search for that suspect. Live from the east side, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, arson was called out to investigate a suspicious fire on the east side. Now, it happened in the 1400 block of Montana Street just after 11 last night. According to crews, the house structure was abandoned and had an unsafe building sign on the wall. Now, crews say it's difficult to tell what damage was already there.
Any morning headlines for only the third time in history, a presidential impeachment trial has been opened by the U.S. Senate.
This as new allegations try to paint President Donald Trump into a corner. Critics saying new information proves that the president and members of his administration have been caught lying about a pressure campaign against Ukraine.
ABC News' Karina Mitchell is in New York with more.
Pretrial proceedings are underway after an historic day. Chief Justice John Roberts taking the oath to oversee the trial against President Trump, swearing in the senators.
So help you God.
Lead manager Adam Schiff formally presenting the two articles of impeachment.
Impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Democrats trying to make the case that the president pressured Ukraine into investigating political rival Joe Biden.
That was the most important thing, is for him to stay on for another 4 years and keep the fight going.
Overnight, Lev Parnas, the indicted former associate of Mr. Trump's personal attorney Rudy Giuliani, telling CNN's Anderson Cooper,
it was all about 2020. There was no other reason for doing it.
A claim the president denies.
Don't know where he comes from, know nothing about him. I can only tell you this thing is a big hoax.
Parnas denies those claims, saying he'd be willing to testify. Meantime, the Government Accountability Office, a nonpartisan watchdog group, says the Trump administration broke the law in withholding aid to Ukraine. The White House denies the claim. At least one Republican, Senator Susan Collins from Maine, says she's likely to want to hear further witness testimony, but adds she'll hold off on making a final decision until opening arguments are presented. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
In Australia today, beautiful blue, clear skies in Melbourne days before the beginning of the Australian Open tennis tournament. A sign of relief to the people of Australia as the country has been taken over by massive bushfires for months. Air conditions are expected to get worse over the weekend, but should improve before the tournament begins on Monday.
The San Francisco Giants have named Alyssa Nakken as the first female full-time assistant in Major League Baseball. Giants manager Gabe Kapler says she will help develop a winning atmosphere. Nakken joined the team as an intern back in 2014. She most recently was in charge of the organization's health and wellness initiatives.
It is game day for our Spurs. They play tonight at the AT&T Center against the Atlanta Hawks. Even though they want to win, it really won't matter. For the first time since 1997 season, the Spurs are guaranteed to have a losing record at the midway point of the season. Tip-off for tonight's game is set for 7:30. 4:38, Friday morning, 62 degrees.
And after just 2 months, Disney Plus already has more than 40 million subscribers. Still to come how much it's brought in since its launch in November. And here's a hint, it's a lot.
And good news if you're tired of those annoying robocalls after the break, the bill that could put them to an end.
And taking a look outside with live cam again, very foggy. So this is probably the only camera shot that we could see something, just because Central Catholic across the street is lit up. So be careful out there when driving. We're going to check in on your road conditions with Nick Solis right after the break.
Welcome back. 2019, no stranger to those robocalls. You know, the calls where you answer the phone only hear a pre-recorded message on the other end. In fact, there are about 59 billion unwanted calls blocked by one of several companies on the market. UMail says the most unwanted calls blocked last year were in the state of California and Texas. That could change this year, though. The president recently signing a bill that would fine companies $10,000 for each illegally placed call.
And only 2 months into its launch, Disney Plus already has more than 41 million subscribers. Now, to put that in comparison to another top streaming service, that's about a quarter of Netflix subscribers. It's estimated Disney Plus subscriptions have brought in $97.2 million since its November launch.
And another streaming service about to hit the market. I don't know if you've heard of this yet, but NBC is about to launch their Peacock streaming service. And they're going to zig where the others have zagged. They have said that they're going to launch their streaming service free, but it will come with ads, and you have to pay to
bypass the ads.
To bypass the ads.
Kind of like Pandora.
A little bit like Pandora. 442, 62 degrees.
And hidden fees could be making your cable bill sky high. Just ahead, what you can do to avoid them.
Caught on camera in Massachusetts. You don't want to miss what this couple did after spotting a car that was connected to a kidnapping. That is next in your GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an everyday couple turned incredible heroes. Amanda Disley and her husband Benny Correa were driving with their family Wednesday night in Springfield, Massachusetts. Aware of reports that 11-year-old Charlotte Mosia was forced into a blue Honda, reportedly kicking and screaming. And then Benny saw it.
I said, yo, babe, that's that car. That's that car. I seen that car. You showed me that car. That's the car.
They pulled up a post on social media to confirm and started to follow him.
My husband reversed on the main road.
Right onto the main road.
We blocked him.
To block him in.
He jumped over a curb, and that's when the high beams flashed right into his driver, and I saw his complete face.
Local police praising the public for their help. And coming up at 7 a.m., this fast-thinking couple will be live on Good Morning America to tell their heart-stopping story. It's an ABC News exclusive you won't want to miss. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Chances are if you have cable, you're probably paying more than when you signed up. That could be because of a bunch of little fees that add up to big bills. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz looks at what you can do to avoid those surprise fees.
Cable TV bills. How much is yours?
We pay a lot, more than $350 a month.
We pay in the area of like $260 now a month for everything. It's really bad.
I dropped my cable. It became really expensive.
Take a close look at your cable bill. You might be surprised to find fees you never heard of. Broadcast TV fee, regional sports fee, set-top box or rental fees, installation, and a lot more. And it all adds up. The average cable subscriber pays nearly $450 in such fees every year.
These fees are hidden, consumers are confused by them, and they're really annoyed by them. Most importantly, they're getting worse and they're expensive.
One way to cut those fees is to cut the cord. A good quality digital antenna costs about $35 and can tune in local TV stations for free. Streaming services on your smart TV or streaming device typically charge a monthly subscription fee. For example, YouTube TV is $50 a month. That's it. And relief is on the way. Congress recently passed the Television Viewer Protection Act.
Number one, it requires cable companies to disclose at the point of sale, meaning right when you're going to sign up for service, of what your total overall price is going to be, including all fees, taxes.
Number two, if you don't like the price, you have 24 hours to cancel. And third, they can't charge you rental fees for equipment that you don't even use, like those Wi-Fi routers. The new law is expected to take effect in June. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
They definitely add up.
Wow, they really do add up. And when you start doing the maths, oftentimes I think the bills wind up being somewhat similar. You know what I mean? You know, the cable and the dish, everything like that, they're still going to get you. Now they just have to be more forthright about their socking it to you.
They have to have it more clearly to you.
Yeah. 4:48, let's check in with Nick standing by, and I'm afraid of how this morning's going to go today as far as the fog in our commute, sir.
Yes, I'm afraid if you can't hear me. Can you hear me, Mark? Do I sound good? Yeah. All right, there you go. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great Friday. We're not off to a very good start. A lot of accidents out there today, including this one right now. This one came out about 15 minutes ago. It's a major accident on eastbound I-10 West to the on-ramp to Northwest Loop 410. It seems like it's a 3-vehicle accident involving an 18-wheeler. It's still an active scene, so expect a delay if you're going eastbound 410 right before the 410 exit ramp. We had a road closure, but this is now just opened up. It was a SAPD critical scene, but it's all opened up now and everything is okay there. We also have this accident, 10 at Callahan. This is the accident I was talking about. Just be careful there. It's very dangerous because when I was driving in today, that's where the fog was the worst. So please be careful. Let's take a look at other parts of the city. We have Loop 410 in Broadway, not too much there. 410 in Jackson Keller looking great. And 281 in Hildebrand, very, very light traffic right now. So good news if you're heading that way, but please be careful on the way to work. It's very dangerous outside.
I know we can't see you at home, but raise your hand if you need your car washed, like in the worst way.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody. You and I were talking about, we're waiting for all this mess to end, aren't we?
Tomorrow.
You may, tomorrow afternoon, and then you'll only get a couple of days out of it.
Yeah.
We do have some more showers next week. So what I always get a kick out of, though, with the cable is when all of a sudden, after about a year, your rates go back up. And they go, well, that was promotional. I said, oh, so you're penalizing me for being a good. No, that was a.
You have to call and renegotiate like a lawyer.
I have it actually in my phone.
Yeah.
The date every
to
year
call or renegotiate.
that I have to call. Yeah. Anyway, we have a lot of fog. We have a lot of rain around the area this morning, and we are going to continue to keep some of these showers around here. Visibility, this is some of the thickest this early in the morning here in town. Now, earlier this week in other parts of the area, we had even thicker fog, but it's down to just a couple of 100 yards out there, about a 1/16 of a mile, half-mile Castroville, and it's starting to thicken up around New Braunfels. Rock Springs has a lot of fog, and it seems like it's been prone to get down to pea soup levels there in Rock Springs this week, so just watch out for that. And even where you don't have fog, we're probably going to be seeing some, and it's down to just about an 1/8 of a mile there in Austin. Now, we don't have any advisories yet. I have a feeling they're going to be issued. It's got to be less than a 1/4 mile widespread for more than a couple of hours. We do have a lot of showers mixed in as well. Just about everywhere there are some scattered showers. Obviously not everybody's seeing rain, but it's not just confined to one portion of our viewing area as of right now. And most of it is on the light side, maybe a couple of moderate showers in here over on the west side of town, that one little spot right there, a little bit heavier rain. And then like yesterday, all of a sudden the skies just opened up and it was coming down in gangbusters in some parts. And that's going to be the potential today, because we have so much moisture in the atmosphere that we could see some really heavy downpours localized here and there. And temperatures, 67 Floresville, 47 in Kerrville. We've got the front kind of lying across the area right now. That sort of moved in here and put on the brakes and just sitting on top of us, and that's helping out with the focal point for some of the rain. Now, that's going to kind of do an about face and start heading back up to the north, and so that's why those dew points then go back up into the hill country, and that's going to be the situation overnight and throughout much of the day tomorrow. The timing on the front is kind of moved back a little bit. It had looked like it was going to be later on tonight. Now it's going to be sometime about early afternoon tomorrow when it comes through. And then as you see the dew points start to drop off, we get the dryer moving in here, we get rid of the humidity, and that will then clear us out for tomorrow night into Sunday. Sunday's going to be the prettiest day. We'll probably still have a couple of showers left over tomorrow morning, and even maybe a little bit toward the afternoon, because there's a little bit of an extra disturbance that's going to try and scooch across here. 66 degrees today, showers and a couple of thunderstorms at noon, and then a high temperature today up to 70, which is where we started off the past couple of mornings. So at least we're not as sultry and humid and muggy today. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms, maybe a heavier downpour as well. Then we go into tomorrow. We'll still have some showers around in the morning up to about maybe noonish or early afternoon. And we're going to start to clear out. It's going to be breezy tomorrow. Sunday looks like a pretty good looking day. We start off in the low 40s. And 55 for a high temperature then. Cool, cloudy, maybe a shower on Monday, and we stay on the cooler side much of next week. We'll be back.
Years after her death, Whitney Houston is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, you never thought that hip-hop would take it this far.
Also among the 2020 inductees, the late iconic rapper, the Notorious B.I.G., Depeche Mode, and alternative rock group 9 Inch Nails. Supermodel Gigi Hadid was among the potential jurors dismissed from selection for the Harvey Weinstein trial. The 24-year-old told the judge she believed she'd be able to keep an open mind on the case, even though she has met the former movie mogul who's charged with rape and sexual assault. 7 jurors have now been chosen, and jury selection continues today.
We've no choice but to embark on this perilous journey.
Coming to movie theaters this weekend, Doolittle, starring Robert Downey Jr., and the long-awaited sequel, Bad Boys for Life, starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Somebody's trying to kill me. I don't trust a person that don't want to kill him.
And finally, happy birthday to former First Lady Michelle Obama. Actor Jim Carrey turns 57, and actress Betty White is celebrating her 97th birthday. And that's what's making news in Hollywood. I'm Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And some critics are saying that Doolittle is actually worse than Cats. Not even kidding.
That has to be pretty bad.
Yeah,
Aww.
457, 62 degrees.
And we have a lot heading your way in our next half hour. Like why the crew on the International Space Station is flipping over Star Wars. Wow, that was funny.
And in your Tech Bites, a look at some smart contact lenses a company's working on to make a reality.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Right now, Gmsa police investigating a shooting on the east side. We'll tell you what we know so far about events leading up to shots fired.
And arson investigators called out to look at a suspicious fire on the east side.
Outside with live cam, engage foghorn sound effect as we take a look at some of the cameras around town. Hard to see much of anything. This may be some of the thickest fog we've seen this week, depending on where you are at. But good morning to you. It is Friday, January 17th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. And yeah, downtown, it's hard to see.
Any updates from National Weather Service, Mike?
Nope, nothing as far as any advisories, but, just be advised that there's a lot of fog out there. I guess that's the best thing to take away from this. Temperatures are actually down from where they were, and it depends on where you live, because out in the hill country, we're talking about some really chilly conditions out there, 30s, 40s, but then it's 70 in Victoria, 62 here in town. So we're down about almost 10 degrees from yesterday, and the humidity, of course, remains very, very high. We do have some light showers out there and plenty of thick fog. This is what the visibilities are right now. It's just a couple of 100 yards out at the airport, and a lot of folks were saying driving into work this morning that, couldn't hardly see anything. Turn a corner, run into a wall of fog. Half-mile visibility, Castroville. 3/4 at New Braunfels. Quarter-mile going up I-10. A lot more fog out toward the hill country. Off to the east, Austin is just about 1/8 of a mile. And it will, like we always say, it's going to get thicker in the next couple of hours. Now, there is a lot of rain out there as far as being very widespread. It's not just confined to like one section of our viewing area. Mostly light showers, but remember yesterday how as the morning rolled on, these started to pick up a little bit more in intensity, becoming some moderate showers. And there is the chance for some hefty downpours today, just because, kind of like yesterday, all of a sudden just opened up out there because we've got so much moisture in the atmosphere. And we do have some of these scattered showers in and around town as of right now. Again, temperatures, depends on where you live, but you're going to be seeing temperatures going up, especially in the hill country. We'll go up a little bit today, but especially in the hill country. Mountain cedar, mold are both on the high side. So we've got not as warm temperatures this morning. Still, we're at the normal high right now, basically. 70 for a high, a couple of storms, heavy downpours, a couple of showers starting off tomorrow morning. Then the front's going to move through. Then we're going to start to feel more like January. Chilly, a couple of showers next week. Details coming up. Time saver traffic. Here's Officer Nick Solis. More problems out there?
We're still working on the same accident we have been here for the last 20 minutes. It's on 410 and I-10, blocking 2 lanes on I-10 eastbound and the shoulder. It's right there, the right lanes that go to the 410 on ramp. SAPD still on scene. On the TransGuide, it looks like they could be there for a little bit longer, 20, 30 minutes, but when it's involving 18-wheelers, it usually takes a while. But this accident is still active, and this is where I feel when I was driving in, I saw the fog was worse. So just be careful when you're heading this way for those emergency responders and pedestrians on the roadway. Let's take a look at some drive times. If you're on 1604 westbound from US 281 to I-10, 6 minutes, and if you're on 281 southbound to Bulverde to 1604 is 6 minutes. That's a good commute there. Taking a look at TransGuide, 37 in Houston, looking good. Nothing, fog's not too bad. 151 in Loop 410, very barely visible there, but just be careful if you're in that area. And 281 in Hildebrand is looking very light. So I'll keep you updated on those accidents. Be careful with the fog. Make sure you use your hazards and don't use your brights. It's always dangerous. So be careful. Mark, Stephanie?
As always, thank you, Nick. Top stories this morning. A man shot in the head on the east side last night. And the latest we know is that he has survived. All it happened near the 4000 block of East Houston Street near Interstate 10. Sarah Costa is live at the location with what police are saying about the shooting. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, and police continue to search for the suspect or suspects involved in that shooting. And this stripes behind me is where they found that man who was shot, but this is not where that shooting took place. Police say they got the call just before 12:30 last night to the 4000 block of East Houston Street. They say there was some kind of altercation involving the victim, but not too far from this stripes on Houston is the Edge Apartments. That's where that altercation took place. It's right off I-10 behind a Starbucks. It was at that complex where shots were fired. The man who was shot was able to get away from that location in his car. Police say the victim ran the gate of the complex. Police found the man's bumper by the highway. That's when he pulled into this stripes right next to the entrance of Wheatley Heights Sports Complex. He was taken to Gmsa in critical condition with a gunshot wound to his head. The latest that we know at this point is that he is still alive and in critical condition, but we will keep you updated if that changes throughout the morning. Live from the east side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. Also new this morning, arson investigators called out to look into a suspicious fire on the city's east side. Now, it is in the 1400 block of Montana Street. Just after 11 last night, that's when it happened. According to crews, the house was abandoned and it had an unsafe building sign posted on the property. Now, crews say it's difficult to tell how much damage was caused based on all the damage that was already there.
Janine Jones has been sentenced to life in prison, and now she's hearing from the mothers, or at least one mother of the 5 infants. Janine Jones, known as the killer nurse, said following Jones's sentencing.
Our Paul Venema in court for the plea and the emotional reaction from the families of the babies.
I will leave you with this. I hope for you to live a long and miserable life behind bars.
Janine Jones had just been sentenced to life in prison by Judge Frank Castro for killing Connie Weeks' infant son, Joshua Sawyer. As she had done with at least 6 other infants in the early 80s, Jones had injected the babies with lethal doses of either painkillers or muscle relaxants while caring for them in area hospitals.
You took God's most precious gift, babies, defenseless, innocent.
Following sentencing, the families of the other infants Jones had pled guilty to killing were permitted to address her. Afterward, they met with us outside the courtroom.
Nobody knows this pain I carry, only I. And finally, it's over.
Her baby, Rosemary Vega, was one of Jones' victims. Melissa Luna's brother, too, was killed by Jones.
Even though my brother's in a box, she's going to spend the rest of her life in a box, too. So I can smile today knowing that.
Jones' killing spree first came to light in Kerrville. She was convicted of killing 15-month-old Chelsea McClellan in 1984. She served a life sentence for that murder. Before she could be freed, Jones was indicted in the local deaths. In exchange for Jones' guilty plea, the remaining cases were dismissed.
For her to decide on her watch who lived and who died is nothing short of evil.
Jones will be eligible for parole in 18 years. She'll be 87, and eligibility rarely means release. For Good Morning San Antonio, I'm Paul Venema.
In your morning headlines, for the 3rd time ever, a presidential impeachment trial has been taken up by the U.S. Senate. Critics saying new information proves the president, members of his administration, have been caught lying about pressure campaign against Ukraine. The Government Accountability Office's nonpartisan group says the administration broke the law in withholding aid to Ukraine. However, the White House denies the claim.
The U.S. Coast Guard has suspended the search for 2 crew members missing after a deadly collision between a fishing boat and oil tanker off the Texas coast. Now, officials say the search following the collision Tuesday covered nearly 50 miles before it was called off. 2 other crew members were pulled out of the water, but one did not survive. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Officials in the Philippines say an erupting volcano still remains a life-threatening condition despite weaker emissions of steam and ash. Officials have advised thousands of evacuated villagers not to return to their homes yet. Continuing quakes and drying the crater lake still indicating magma is still moving below. 509, 62 degrees.
And still to come, JetBlue increasing their baggage fees, what you can expect as you plan your next trip.
Outside with live cam, another foggy start to the day out there. It's hard to see much of anything with these elevated cameras. We're talking about TransGuide and all our live cams. This one pointed down just across the street down here on North St. Mary's downtown. We've got an update on your weekend forecast with Mike.
And welcome back. It is 5:12. In your morning consumer headlines, hotel rooms are extremely expensive during ski season in Colorado. Now a new pod hotel is offering travelers a break from those costly prices. The Cohabit Pod Hotel will open soon in Avon, Colorado. While many hotels in the area go for hundreds of dollars a night, this one is just $100. It's the first time a European-style pod hotel concept has come to Colorado.
If you fly JetBlue, it's about to get a little pricier. The airline doesn't think you're paying enough for your checked bag, so it's raising the price. Cost first bag now $35. A second will now cost $45. The new prices are already in effect. The airline offering a $5 discount to passengers who add a checked bag online or through its app at least 24 hours before the flight. JetBlue credit card holders will avoid that fee.
We're going to get even better about packing. More sneaky.
JetBlue doesn't service San Antonio, but they do service Austin.
That's right. So time now, 5:13 and 62 degrees.
Just ahead on Gmsa, another American company now worth over $1 trillion in value.
And Facebook backing away from a plan to put ads in WhatsApp app. That's ahead in your morning Tech Bites.
The third stair always creaked, and your mother told me all her life that I should fix it. Now it reminds me of her. I'm just glad I never fixed it.
Listen, you don't need to go anywhere, Dad. Meet Christine. She's going to help you around the house.
The best home to be in is your own. From personal care and memory care to help around the house, Home Instead offers personalized in-home services for your loved ones. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Anytime Fitness, we believe healthy happens when commitment comes with a coach.
Imagine Mega Red Omega 3 power for your whole body. Now with an antioxidant blend for great sleep, refreshed skin, and less stress. One soft gel, 7 benefits. Total body refresh. Power your day with Mega Red.
And today's Tech Bites, a major reversal from Facebook.
For now, the tech giant is ditching controversial plans to sell ads in WhatsApp. Facebook has been looking for ways to generate cash from the popular messaging service, but the plan for ads reportedly led to the resignation of its creators more than 18 months ago. And Google's parent company has joined a super exclusive club.
Alphabet is now valued at $1 trillion. That's despite facing several controversies, including antitrust investigations. Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft are the only other $1 trillion companies. And startup Mojo Vision is working on some very smart contact lenses.
The eyewear has a digital overlay that shows everything from your calendar to urgent messages on the lenses. Features would be activated by staring at an icon. The lenses still have to be approved by the FDA.
They're Mojo, we're No-Mo.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Huh? 5:18 right now. Here's Nick Solis.
Yeah, it's still looking pretty foggy out there.
Yeah, definitely pretty foggy. And when I'm looking at the TransGuide here, it's getting very dangerous for these first responders out here and the vehicles, because this accident is still active here. It's eastbound I-10 West on ramp. It's those lanes leading to the on-ramp to Northwest Loop 410, but it is blocking 2 lanes. And I have some TransGuide footage of that here. Some drive times is 1604 eastbound from US 281 to I-35, 10 minutes. And if you're on 1604 westbound from I-35 to US 281, it's 8 minutes. So those times are great. But here's that accident. When you see those cars, they get very close to those flare lines, and especially with the fog and those emergency lights, it can get very blinding at times. So just be very careful if you are heading that direction. Now let's take a look at other parts in the city, see how the fog's affecting your commute. 35 in St. Mary's looks pretty clear there. So that's good news. 410 in Jackson Keller, pretty clear as well. And 281 in Hildebrand, also looking clear. So it looks like right now that fog is just definitely affecting that northwest side on I-10 and 410. So just please be careful if you're heading that
It's
way.
that kind of
Most
morning
definitely.
where the curves down there, like at Hildebrand by Incarnate Word or Fine
Oh,
Silver,
yes.
they're all really tricky with that just a little bit of moisture on the ground.
Well, who was it saying came into work this morning and coming down 10 and then all of a sudden
Fine silver
saw
curve.
that,
Yeah,
saw that wall of fog?
I know. It's like we didn't have a
Right there,
skyline in
10,
San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah, so just watch that because even though, in that last picture there, 281 at Hildebrand looks okay, you're going to see
Right.
fog. Yes.
Well, and it's tricky when you see professional drivers like big rig guys with their hazard lights on heading down the interstate.
Yeah.
And it's going to be sticking around for the next few hours. Still don't have any advisories. Let me just give one more check here and see if the Weather Service has issued. Nope, no advisories yet. This was yesterday over around New Braunfels, and yes, there was a rainbow after some of those showers, and some folks picked up a ton of rain. Kerr County, there was one location that reported just over 3 inches of rain yesterday, about 1/3 of an inch officially out at the airport. This is by the airport. Now the camera's a little out of focus, of course, but we've got a lot more fog than what we had yesterday in just 1/16 of a mile, so a couple of 100 yards. That's it. Randolph just over a mile, Castroville 1.75 miles around New Braunfels. Just about everybody is seeing some fog with a couple of exceptions over there right around the Rio Grande down to 1/8 of a mile up around Austin. And we also have some of these showers around here, so foggy and damp conditions. Most of it is on the light side. But think back to yesterday when we were watching some of these little green spots here, and then it really started to kind of pick up as far as some of the intensity, and we had some of those moderate showers that moved on in through the area, and of course the heavier downpours in the afternoon, and that's going to be the potential again today with all this moisture. I mean, it's very rare to have this much moisture this time of year. We've got temperatures 60 here in town, we've got upper 60s down to the southeast, and then 40s out in parts of the hill country. Much drier air out there, of course, because you can't drop down below what the dew point temperature is. However, that's not going to be lasting for long because the humidity is going to continue to kind of push back in here. We had that front sort of drape down through the area yesterday and park almost right on top of San Antonio, a little bit to the south of it, then it's going to push back up to the north. Then by Saturday afternoon, the main front's going to move on through here. So that's going to pull in the drier air. That's going to start to clear us out somewhat for tomorrow night and into Sunday. And that's going to be the start of the colder air coming in here for next week. Now, we're going to have scattered showers around here throughout the day today and maybe even tomorrow morning. Here's the front. Pretty much coming on through here in the morning and early afternoon hours. Then in behind it looks like there may be a little bit of a leftover disturbance, so could have actually a few leftover showers in the afternoon tomorrow. Then we'll start to clear out by, like I said, tomorrow evening. And Sunday's going to be, I think, overall the prettiest day of the two this weekend. 66 today at noon. Showers. A couple of thunderstorms, possibly, maybe a few heavier downpours. So just kind of watch out for that. Some of those just, the sky opening up like it did yesterday, early afternoon. 70 for a high temperature today. And then we'll see more showers around here starting off the day tomorrow. 65 for a high temperature. It's going to be breezy as well when the front moves on through here. And Sunday, cold start, nice afternoon. More clouds Monday. It's going to be chilly, a couple of showers. Very cold starting Tuesday. And another pretty good chance of rain by Thursday.
Boy, that rain was cold yesterday afternoon, and it got chilly around here pretty quick.
It did.
Yeah, it was a combination of that little front moving through and then that rain-cooled air. And yeah, it was cold.
It was kind of fun to watch people scurry through parking lots. I was one of them.
I was going to say that was me too.
523, 62 degrees on your Friday morning.
After the break, why the cast and crew of 1917 say the film was so complicated to make.
Remarkable movie.
Oh my gosh, look, there they are. Oh my God. Hello. Can you hear us?
Oh, Naomi and Kelly, we can hear you. The force is strong here.
Everyone flips for Star Wars, even the International Space Station crew. Rise of Skywalker stars Kelly Marie Tran and Naomi Ackie visited Johnson Space Center in Houston to chat with the Expedition 61 crew and play them music from the new film. Astronauts Christina Cook and Jessica Meir have been working hard prepping for Monday's spacewalk, so they'll relax this weekend and watch Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker with the rest of the crew. 1917, up for 10 Academy Awards, appears to unfold as one continuous shot. Director Sam Mendes and his cast and crew carefully choreographed long, complicated scenes. And when the cameras rolled, everything had to go perfectly.
That means that in an 8-minute take, you can have 7 minutes of magic, and then someone makes a mistake and none of it can be used. You have to start again. And so that led to some days when I thought that I'd lost my mind, or was going to. But then when you get it, you're so excited, it keeps you going until the next time.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Check it out. 527, 62 degrees.
Walmart receiving major backlash after a tweet gone wrong. What the retail giant is saying now.
Disneyland opened its newest ride, Rise of the Resistance. We'll tell you what makes the ride so unique next. Good morning to you. It is Friday, January 17th, TGIF. We're just hoping that the weather cooperates as far as getting everybody safely through the morning commute, Nick.
Yeah, right now, we started off busy, and the last accident that I had on screen just cleared up on Callahan and 410.
Well, that's good news.
So a little lull for now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but still foggy, though.
Yeah, it's still foggy, so we'll have rain out there, so it's not the best driving conditions. And, you know, as the commute starts to really get into it later on this morning, things may not be as good. 61 degrees. We are down about 10 degrees compared to the past few mornings, but still obviously way above normal with showers and some fog out there. And then 70 later on this afternoon. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms are possible, and maybe some of those hefty downpours like we had yesterday.
Wow,
all of a sudden, it was like just, you know,
the sky opened up.
Yes, it did.
This is what it looks like out there by the airport. Now, this, as you can see, the camera's back in focus, and unlike yesterday when we could actually see the airport on the other side of 410, can't right now, but off in the background somewhere there is the airport, and we've got visibility still just a couple of 100 yards, basically a 1/16 of a mile, quarter mile up around Bernie. New Braunfels just under a mile, and Castroville at a mile visibility. More fog out in the Hill Country, Uvalde at 1 mile, and just 1/8 of a mile up the road in Austin. Also, we have some of these showers out there. Most of it's on the light side, but think back to yesterday, how the morning rolled on and we started getting those moderate showers to develop, and that's going to be the possibility, especially later on today with some of those hefty downpours. As I mentioned, everything's sliding up primarily to the north to northwest, and we've had a few of them passing through here in town. Plus, with the fog, there's all that mist. So yes, the roads are definitely on the damp side. 62 degrees right now, but 40s in the Hill Country. So that front move through yesterday kind of stalled out and is going to do an about face to move back up to the north throughout the course of the day today. Mountain Cedars yesterday count went way up. Mold is high. Mold's probably going to remain very, very high. Mountain Cedar, can't speculate about today, but I have a feeling it's going to be getting pretty shaken up with the trees over the next couple of days because it is going to be breezy. We are going to improve over the weekend. Details on that, look ahead to next week coming up in a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now, so nothing out there?
Nothing. Mike got a little bit of a break after I started so busy, but yeah, no accident. That last accident just cleared. All the lanes are open on I-10 eastbound right before 410. So good news for everybody. Still, weather is a little bit foggy out there, so please be careful. Never have your brights on. If you have to have your hazards on so you can show the person in front of you your visibility, it's fine. Just be careful when you're driving today. It can be a little dangerous. Let's take a look at some drive times. We have around 151 eastbound to 1604 to 90, 9 minutes. And if you're on eastbound Highway 90 to 1604 to I-35, it's 12 minutes. Taking a look outside at the Trans Guide, 37 in Houston. Traffic's starting to pick up just a little bit, but visibility looks good there. 151 and 410. Still can't see too good there, so be careful if you're driving in that area. And 281 at Hildebrand, traffic starting to pick up just a little, but it's looking very good, so you shouldn't have no problems if you're heading to work that way. Well, hope everyone has a great morning. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Nick. A man shot in the head still recovering this morning. Now police are looking for the shooter. It happened just after midnight near the 4000 block of East Houston Street near I-10. According to police, a fight broke out at the Edge Apartments. The victim was shot in the head and was able to drive away. Now, police say the victim ran into the gate of the complex and they found his bumper on the highway. That victim pulled into a gas station and was taken to a nearby hospital.
Arson investigating a suspicious fire on the east side. Happened just after 11 last night, the 1400 block of Montana Street. Crews say the building was abandoned and completely locked up. The damage from the fire is still under investigation. Crews say it was hard to tell what was already damaged before the fire.
The water we drink, the air we breathe, and the green spaces around us. It might seem pretty simple, but keeping these resources at a high quality can be pretty difficult.
But San Antonio City Councilman Manny Pelaez says it's one of his top priorities for this year. In this week's leading essay, the councilman tells Max Massey the importance of our natural resources, what the issues are now, and what's next.
Councilman Pelaez tells me that the north side is the guardian of the aquifer, and the majority of the drinking water we get in San Antonio comes from the aquifer. So protecting the natural resources here is a big deal.
We're going to be putting a tremendous amount of pressure on that aquifer, which means that we need to look at, different ways of bringing water to San Antonio as opposed to just drawing down on that aquifer every time, which is why, I'm excited about desalination, projects at SAWS. I'm excited about the direction in which SAWS is going and exploring how it is they're sourcing water from outside of San Antonio to bring it in.
The increased pressure on the aquifer that the councilman is talking about stems from that anticipated population growth. Now, there's a big decision looming on San Antonio.
And we have to decide how it is that we're going to continue to pay for the protection of our aquifer. A lot of folks don't know this, but San Antonians voted many years ago to use 1/8 of their sales tax here in San Antonio to invest in aquifer protection. That's going away.
But it's not just the water in District 8 that's a top priority. The councilman also addresses the growing air quality issue.
And San Antonio is increasingly worse when it comes to asthma incidents, particulates in the air. We need to continue to make sure that the air that we breathe is clean.
So as more families move to the Alamo City and move to the northwest side, that means more development, more houses, more businesses, and more apartments. And that could mean a trade-off for green areas.
People need to realize, and I'm learning this too, is that building new things is a commitment that we're making long-term to our natural resources and our environment out there, and the beauty, right, and the character of the north side.
Councilman Pelaez tells me that he strives to never stop having these conversations about the aquifer, the air quality, and the natural resources that impact San Antonio. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
And Alamo College is one step closer to reaching its goal to provide free college tuition to students in more than a dozen high schools across San Antonio.
The Charles Butt Foundation donated $1.5 million to the program. It was first announced last year, and since then, 6,300 students from 25 local schools have saved their seat to continue their education.
We want to get them all the way to the finish line to not only save their seat and indicate interest, but also do the Applied Texas admissions application, also do the federal financial aid form, which are all requirements to participate in Promise, and then get them ready to go.
The program is expected to cost about $122 million over the next 5 years. Alamo College has set a goal to raise $5 million in private donations within that time frame. After the donation from the Butt Foundation, they have about $1 million to go to meet their goal. 80 Morning Headlines. The Senate now taking up the impeachment trial for the third time ever in the history of the United States. Critics say new information proves the president, members of his administration, have been caught lying about a pressure campaign on Ukraine. However, the White House denies the claim. The Government Accountability Office says the Trump administration broke the law in withholding aid to Ukraine.
A week after a volcano erupted in the Philippines, officials say it is still unsafe to return. Now, people who evacuated have been advised to not return to their homes, as continuing quakes and drying lakes are signs that magma is still moving below. The volcano erupted last Sunday, and thousands of people are waiting to return home.
5:38 right now. A Richmond Circuit Court judge upholds the decision to temporarily ban firearms on Virginia Capitol grounds.
It's one of the security precautions the state is taking in advance of a gun rights rally.
CNN's John Lawrence reports.
Virginia's temporary state of emergency begins today. This means no weapons allowed on state capitol grounds.
This includes everything from sticks and bats to chains and projectiles. This list also includes firearms.
The ban ends Tuesday, one day after a Martin Luther King Jr. Day gun rights event in Richmond.
We have received credible intelligence from our law enforcement agencies that there are groups with malicious plans for the rally that is planned for Monday.
On Thursday, the FBI arrested 3 alleged members of the Base, a white supremacist group, and charged them with firearms and immigration-related offenses. A law enforcement official said the men were believed to have been heading to the gun rally.
Whether that means that they were going to recruit, whether that means that they were planning on an action,
but really the ability of law enforcement to disrupt whatever this was, I think is a major victory.
Federal agents say members of the base had chat room discussions on bomb making, military-style training camps, and creating a white ethno-state. But this temporary ban and other recent gun legislation have upset some gun owners.
The gun-free zones have been a problem. They're making more of them. They're basically doubling down on a bad idea.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And Walmart is reportedly apologizing for a tweet that appears to reference actor Paul Walker's death. Someone jokingly tweeted to Walmart a little gif of a fast car saying that's how they race to Walmart. And the retailer's Twitter page responded, quote, "Hey, Paul Walker, click it or ticket," end quote. Now that tweet immediately drew criticism from those who claimed it mocked the Fast and the Furious actor who was killed in a car crash in 2013. Now Walmart acknowledged the tweet in a statement and said it was, quote, "posted in poor judgment," end quote, and that it has been removed.
540, 62 degrees on your Friday morning.
And from Joe Burrow winning the Heisman Trophy to claiming the national champion title, the LSU Tigers had a season to remember. After the break, where are the teams headed next?
And where are we headed next weather-wise and traffic-wise? We're going to get you up to speed live here on KSAT 12. GMSA continues after this. 5:43, President Trump will welcome the national champions LSU to the White House today. Before visiting the White House, the Tigers will reportedly tour the nearby National Museum of African American History and Culture. The president attended the national championship game against Clemson Monday night.
Actress Lori Loughlin's college admissions bribery case is up for hearing today in Boston federal court. Loughlin and designer husband Massimo Giannulli are charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud. Now, prosecutors say this week in new court documents that the pair rejected a legitimate approach to help one of their daughters get into USC and instead chose to pay her way in.
And get ready to ride the Resistance. Disneyland's new Star Wars Galaxy Edge ride, Rise of the Resistance, is open. The simulator ride set aboard a Star Destroyer and is actually Disney's longest ride yet at around 18 minutes. Disney World's version opened last month. Admission for the ride itself, only $18,000. I'm kidding. It just seems like the prices for these theme parks get pricier, and they're fancier than ever. But
it looks really good. Looks like a movie set. Yeah.
We're going to have to pay for it if we want to see it, right?
It's going to be a lot, but it looks nice. I hope BB-8's on board. It'll be nice.
I think he is.
Yeah,
Disney's spending a fortune.
Yes.
544, 62 degrees.
And Christmas came and went, but for all of you last-minute shoppers, it might be time to start thinking about gifts. Still to come on GMSA, tips on ways you can save on presents this year.
Taking a look around San Antonio TransGuide, we've got fog in different places again with varying thicknesses depending on the camera view here. There's 410 in Jackson Keller. Be extra careful out there this morning. We want you to arrive alive at your destination. Nick's going to help you out with more coming up. Christmas just ended a few weeks ago, but it may already be time to start thinking about next Christmas.
Ugh, not me, but have you ever had to run out to buy a last-minute gift? You may be spending more money than you have to. CNN's Mandy Gator has some ways to help you save on presents all year.
From teacher appreciation gifts to presents for a party, we've all rushed out last minute to grab something to give. But the couponing site SouthernSavers.com says creating a gift closet will help stop that and start saving you money. Here's how it works. Think about the occasions in which you typically need gifts. Then stock up during sales or a clearance. For instance, thank you presents for teachers. If there's a deal on gift cards, coffee, or other small items, think about buying them and setting them aside for the end of the year. Do the same for birthday parties. When you find a toy on sale and think it could make a great present, go ahead and get it. Southern Saver says January is a great time to find deals on toys. You can also stock up on gifts for graduation, housewarming, baby showers, and presents for your own children. The website says buying now will help you save later. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
548.
Too early. Let's talk about the fog instead.
Let's do that and get an update now from Officer Nick Solis. How are things looking from your perspective, Nick?
Right now they're looking good. It looks like there's still very bad visibility in the northwest side of town, like 410, I-10, where that accident was earlier. But other than that, things are getting a little more visible out there. No new accidents to report. So let's take a look at some drive times. If you're on 1604 westbound from US 281 to I-10, it's 6 minutes. And if you're on 281 southbound from Valverde to 1604, 7 minutes. Good commutes there. If you're on 1604 eastbound from the Helotes area to Randolph Air Force Base, is 28 minutes, and back is 28 minutes if you are heading westbound. So weather's not affecting the traffic times, but look at this, I-10 and Callahan East, still looking pretty bad out there, so please be careful if you are driving. 151 and 410, traffic starting to pick up there just a little bit. 10 and Loop 1604 looks like a ghost town. And let's see what else we have here. We have inbounds and outbounds 10 at Frio. Traffic is definitely starting to get a little bit more moderate. So please be careful today if you're going to work. And I want everyone to have a great day.
Thank you, Nick. So that's how things are looking on the right side of the desk. How about far left, Mr. Osterhage?
Well, depends on where you are, basically. I mean, some areas it is very, very thick fog. Other spots don't have any fog to deal with. We have a few light showers around the area this morning. It will finally start to feel more like January come June, come Sunday. I'll get my months right here. This is what it looks like out there at the airport right now, and there is a lot of fog. Visibility is still just about a 1/16 of a mile. It has dropped down somewhat at Randolph, still quarter mile going up I-10 in toward Bernie, and it's dropped down a little bit now in Castroville. And elsewhere, it looks like numbers haven't changed that much. It may have improved slightly up there around Austin, still just a quarter mile visibility. We still don't have any sort of an advisory in effect for any of the area. Here's what is showing up, and make sure you take an umbrella today because we do have a lot of rain around the area. Most of the area is covered with rain. I'm not saying it's raining everywhere, but from north, south, east, west, there are some of those scattered showers around here. Most of it is on the light side right now. A couple of moderate downpours there. Just to the north in northern Uvalde County, kind of sliding up into western Bandera County. Parts of the hill country, one report I saw in Kerr County picked up more than almost 3.5 inches of rain yesterday. So that's going to be the possibility again today with some of those localized heavy downpours because of all this moisture in the atmosphere. Just crossing I-10 right there and maybe sliding up toward New Braunfels. Decent little shower if that decides to hold together, and those scattered showers. Plus there's a lot of mist out there thanks to all the fog. And not only does it depend on where you live as far as visibility, but also temperatures. 60s here in town, upper 60s down to the southeast, and then 40s out in the hill country. It is very chilly out there. That's because that front, remember, just kind of eased its way down, sort of stalled out yesterday, and then it's going to turn around and go back up to the north. So your lower humidity and cooler temperatures are going to be going away throughout the day out there in the hill country, and will continue to be very sultry here in town. Then by the afternoon, the front's going to move through tomorrow. So we'll start off on the humid side, maybe still a couple of showers. The dry air is going to come in here, clear us out for tomorrow night, and we'll have a lot more sunshine around on Sunday throughout the first portion of the day. Showers around throughout the day today, a couple of heavier downpours. May see a lull in the action tonight. Then as the front starts to work its way into the area, we'll have more showers tomorrow morning. And it looks like, at least this computer model, one of them wants to get a little batch of disturbance moving through here in the afternoon. But then, like I said, we do clear out by tomorrow night. So tomorrow night's going to be a lot more pleasant than tonight. It's going to feel more like January by Sunday and next week. 66 at noon today. Showers, couple of thunderstorms, maybe a heavier downpour. That's a possibility, and a few more showers or a storm today. 70. Perhaps a lull in the action, and then more rain starting off the day tomorrow with just right along that line. Scattered showers around, and even one or two of them in the early afternoon. Then it'll start to clear out. The front moves through. It's going to be breezy tomorrow, 65 for a high temperature, just slightly above normal. Colder, I should say, Sunday morning, and only the mid-50s on Sunday. A little more sunshine, though. More clouds, a couple of showers are possible on Monday. I think it's basically just going to be on the chilly side, only 52 degrees and cloudy skies. Yeah, that'll be sort of bone chilly, and then very cold Tuesday morning. A scattered shower here or there first of the week, and then more rain. Better chance of rain by Thursday.
What a difference from this week to next week.
It's going to balance out.
That's true. Thank you, Mike.
5:53, 62 degrees.
And if you love Netflix, yes, and enjoy ice cream, yes, Ben & Jerry's newest flavor is just for you. Still ahead on Gmsa, why you should try the Netflix and chilled ice cream.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
I don't
Pick
know.
3 numbers, 869 Fireball 8. Daily 4 number 4038 Fireball 6.
Cash 5, 6, 9, 18, 26, 29. And your Texas two-step, 6, 11, 31, 33, 13.
Ice cream makers Ben & Jerry have teamed up with Netflix to create a new flavor. It's called Netflix and Chilled. It has a peanut butter ice cream base and includes pretzels and fudge brownie pieces. Oh man, that sounds good. There's a non-dairy option too. You can go to Ben & Jerry's website to learn more about participating stores and where you can try out the new flavor for yourself. 3 till 6 right now on your Friday. Coming up in the next hour, Good Morning San Antonio. Flavor Faves is back. Today, Erica will tell us more about National Menudo Month. TransSky, wet roads, slick conditions. You're going to want to really slow it down out there. Give yourself plenty of extra distance, especially stopping distance out there on the San Antonio highways and byways. You're watching Gmsa, Time Saver Traffic, coming up.
Police continue to search for the suspect or suspects involved in a shooting last night on the east side where a man was shot in the head. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. We'll bring you the latest in just a bit.
And the latest trial for killer nurse Janine Jones is over before it even starts. Find out how families responded to seeing their baby's killer go to jail for life.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it's foggy in lots of areas in San Antonio, including downtown. Here's a shot of Central Catholic. We can see that because it's right across the street and it's lit up. We're going to check in with Mike for your forecast for today.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It's Friday. It is January 17th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. And if you're headed out, hope you are being careful. It's very hard to see in some areas.
It's been a weird weather week around parts of South Texas. Here's Mike with an update on our Friday. Is this a freaky Friday weather-wise, Mike?
Well, given the fact that it's been like this all week long, I can't say it's too freaky, but hey, here's the good news. We will start to feel more like January by Sunday.
Okay.
So it's been delayed a little bit because the front's kind of slowing down the main front, which is going to bring in the cooler temperatures. Out there by the airport, obviously, we do have a lot of fog, and visibility is still just a couple of 100 yards out there. 1 mile at Castroville. New Braunfels has dropped down now. Randolph has been dropping down. Good visibility around Pleasanton, a lot of fog out toward the hill country, and Austin at a 1/4 mile. So it seems like the thickest fog is right here along I-35, but obviously we're not done with the morning yet, and that fog is going to continue to stick around. We also have a lot of light rain around the area, a couple of moderate showers here and there. Everything is sliding up to the north, and it's just sort of scattered about. And there is the chance to see more moderate to even some heavier downpours later on this afternoon, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms. And even though there's not a lot of rain showing up on radar right now, of course, with all the fog, it's misty out there, so the roads are definitely damp. Depends on where you live as far as temperatures. It is cold in the hill country, 40s, 60s here in town, and even close to 70 down along the coastal plain. That's because that front yesterday was sort of lying across the area, but that's going to move back up to the north. So everybody's going to, you have a break in the humidity right now in the hill country. That's going to go away today. Mountain cedars, very high. The updated count comes out later on this morning. This is yesterday's numbers. Mold is really high as well. I have a feeling mold's really going to be shooting up today. As far as the rest of the morning, temperatures will slowly work their way up. We'll stay fairly steady for the next couple of hours with some mist and fog, some showers around here. Mid-60s today at noon. High today up to 70. Again, a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms, and maybe a few heavier downpours. Few showers left over tomorrow as well. Then we'll start to clear out. We'll take a closer look at the weekend and next week coming up. Time saver traffic right now. And we've had a few a few accidents already, but right now, anything big out there?
It started off busy maybe when the fog was a little bit heavier early in the morning. That's when we had the accidents.
Yeah.
Now things are starting to clear up out there. A lot of green folks on the screen, so that's great right now, especially for 6 a.m. But we didn't get started like that. So let's see some drive times first. We have here on 35 southbound at northeast side at 1604 to downtown 12 minutes. And if you're on 35 northbound from the southwest side 1604 to downtown is 12 minutes. Good commute times there. We have, if you're on I-10 northwest to I-35 to 1604, 12 minutes, and eastbound northwest side of 1604 to I-35, 13 minutes. So great times. Let's take a look at the Trans Guide. right here, 281 and Loop 410, those flyovers, everything's looking good. Traffic definitely starting to pick up. 410 and Exchange Parkway. Visibility is very, very, very bad right there. 410 at Jackson Keller, a little bit better. And let's do one more here. 410 at Broadway. Traffic starting to pick up. Just be careful. It's still foggy in places. Make sure you keep your spacing. No bright lights and no distractions. I want everyone to get to work safely. Well, I hope everyone has a great day. Mark, Stephanie.
New this morning, San Antonio police found a man shot in the head in an East Side Stripes convenience store, but that's not where the shooting happened. Sarah Costa is live near the 4000 block of East Houston Street. Sarah, what can you tell us about what happened?
Good morning. Yeah, this Stripes, like you said, is not where that crime scene happened. Police were able to track down where the shooting happened by a trail that the victim's car left behind. Police say they got the call just before 12:30 this morning to the 400 block of East Houston. There was some kind of altercation involving the victim not too far from the Stripes on Houston at the Edge Apartments. That's right off I-10 behind a Starbucks. It was at that complex where shots were fired. The man who was shot was able to get into his car and drive off. Police say the victim rammed the gate of the complex. Police found the man's bumper on the highway. That's when he pulled into the Stripes right next to the entrance of the Whitley Heights Sports Complex. He was taken to Gmsa in critical condition. With a gunshot wound to the head. Police say they have little information at this time about the suspect or suspects involved, and they continue to search for them. Live from the east side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, investigators are looking into what caused a suspicious fire on the east side. Now, firefighters responded to the call just after 11 last night in the 1400 block of Montana. That's near East Commerce and New Braunfels Avenue. Officials say the building had been locked up and it had an unsafe sign on the door. They also say they found a homeless camp behind the building when it caught fire.
Janine Jones, known as the killer nurse, will spend life in prison. A judge sentencing Jones following a plea deal yesterday.
For one mother, her feelings were summed up in one phrase, saying, quote, "Finally, it's over." Our Paul Venema was in court for the emotional reactions from the families of the babies.
I will leave you with this. I hope for you to live a long and miserable life behind bars.
Janine Jones had just been sentenced to life in prison by Judge Frank Castro for killing Connie Weeks' infant son, Joshua Sawyer. As she had done with at least 6 other infants in the early 80s, Jones had injected the babies with lethal doses of either painkillers or muscle relaxants while caring for them in area hospitals.
You took God's most precious gift, babies, defenseless, innocent.
Following sentencing, the families of the other infants Jones had pled guilty to killing were permitted to address her. Afterward, they met with us outside the courtroom.
Nobody knows this pain I carry, only I. And finally it's over.
Her baby, Rosemary Vega, was one of Jones' victims. Melissa Luna's brother, too, was killed by Jones.
Even though my brother is in a box, she's going to spend the rest of her life in a box, too. So I can smile today knowing that.
Jones' killing spree first came to light in Kerrville. She was convicted of killing 15-month-old Chelsea McClellan in 1984. She served a life sentence for that murder. Before she could be freed, Jones was indicted in the local deaths. In exchange for Jones' guilty plea, the remaining cases were dismissed.
For her to decide on her watch who lived and who died is nothing short of evil.
Jones will be eligible for parole in 18 years. She'll be 87, and eligibility rarely means release. For Good Morning San Antonio, I'm Paul Venema.
It's 6:07 right now, and the number of sepsis deaths around the world is double what researchers previously believed. Now, that's according to a new study in a medical journal. Sepsis occurs when a person's immune system overreacts to an infection, potentially causing organs to shut down. Now, the study estimates that sepsis accounts for roughly 1 in 5 deaths globally and about 270,000 deaths each year in the United States. Now, it costs the nation $24 billion a year, and more than half of all sepsis cases worldwide in 2017 were children.
Your Fitbit Fitness Watch could help health officials better prevent flu outbreaks. Researchers reviewed data which companies' privacy policy allows it to use for research from users who wear Fitbits. Researchers tracked deviations in heart rate and sleep patterns, which tend to change when a person has the flu, and compared it to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Study authors say this marks the first time heart rate trackers and sleep data have been used to predict the flu or any infectious disease in real time.
Several U.S. service members were injured during last week's Iranian missile attack on an airbase in Iraq, despite the Pentagon initially saying that no casualties had taken place. Now, the U.S.-led military coalition fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria said so in a statement. It says American soldiers were treated for concussions and some are still being assessed. On January 8th, the Iranians launched 16 missiles at 2 bases in retaliation for the U.S. airstrikes that killed Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani. And the United States' relationship with Iran has been a controversial topic during President Donald Trump's time in office.
The back and forth with the country includes the assassination of that Iranian general, Soleimani, and the recent missile attacks, new sanctions threatened, and a vote to limit the president's ability to take military action, which is why we want to know what questions you have about the tensions and our history with Iran. You can submit your questions right now at ksat.com/SAQ.
Then later today, KSAT Steve Spreeser will be speaking about the conflict with Trinity political science professor Susan Siavashi, who happens to be from Iran. The conversation will be live streamed on ksat.com at 2:30 this afternoon.
Right now, it's exactly 10 minutes after 6, 63 degrees.
And this Elsa doll doesn't know how to let it go. It's one of the viral stories from the week, and you don't want to miss the creepy details.
Outside with Live Cam on your Friday. Glad you are with us. Much more to come on GMSA. Stick around, grab a fresh cup of coffee. We'll be here, and we'll be back. 6:13, several stories this week trending online, including one about a haunted doll.
Our Erica Hernandez joining us now with more. Good morning, Erica.
Hi, good morning. We'll talk about haunted doll in just a minute.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of rage yoga, though?
Yes, I have.
Really?
I haven't done it yet.
Not me.
You haven't heard about it?
I hadn't heard about it.
I'm going to leave my options open, okay?
Well, like you said earlier, it is all the rage. This practice of yoga involves drinking and cursing. There's a class in Houston being taught by Ashley, I'm going to say
Jusic?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, sure. She says in her class, she hears people yell all kinds of things, from cussing out the person who cut them off in traffic to even their bosses. She said the rage yoga is a good way to let go of things you're bottling up instead of exploding at someone you care about. Rage yoga classes are available online if there isn't a session near you. Now, can you imagine if you lived in an apartment and you're doing this online at home?
No.
And you could hear people yelling.
No.
And
What happened to the idea of yoga being relaxing and serene?
And peaceful.
And peaceful.
Yes.
Right. Well, that picture describes it all.
Yeah,
She's like, "Arr."
Yeah, very angry.
All right, so from spa music to something like 9 Inch Nails, why not?
Well, hey, I like that.
Teach their own.
I like Trent Reznor.
Yeah. So, time to talk about the haunted Elsa doll. This was also in Houston. Let's hear it first.
Oh.
Can we hear it? Are we able to hear it?
We see it.
You could kill our mics, maybe pop that up. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
Okay, it didn't work out.
Well, it didn't work out, but anyway, a little girl got the doll back in Christmas 2013. For 2 years, the doll would just say phrases from the movie and sing Let It Go.
Okay.
In 2015, the doll started talking in Spanish when there wasn't a button that changed tints. And for more than 6 years, they had never had the doll, never changed batteries.
What is she saying?
I don't know. I could barely hear it.
Is it Spanish?
I think it's in Spanish.
Was it supposed to be Dora's doll? Dora's voice activator?
No, they never even changed the battery in the 6 years they had it. The family claims and would even speak when turned off.
Oh.
This past December, they decided to get rid of the doll. However, Elsa wasn't going to let this family go. Despite throwing her in the trash, she reappeared in their living room weeks later. So they tried throwing her away again and even double bagged her. They went out on a trip. When they returned, their daughter found her old friend outside of the house. They have since mailed Elsa to a family friend in Minnesota, and they did not put a return address on that package.
So it doesn't matter what she's saying. She's just creepy as heck.
That's so scary.
And my little girl got this doll for Christmas this year. That one. If it starts talking, I am throwing it. I'm just going to give it back to my mom for giving it to her.
Well, see, don't throw it away. Go drive off and somewhere and,
I think you need to have a long talk with your mom.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought you meant those Minnesota folks mailed it to you.
No. I swear, if it's the same doll.
Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, let's try to figure out what she says and translate it if we can.
If we can, I got to listen to it clearly.
Let it go.
All right.
Let it go, literally.
Scary.
Very creepy.
All right,
Yeah.
Erica, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Let's check in with Nick Solis, and that does happen to be one of his favorite songs in the history of ever.
Well, speaking of that doll, Mark, the little hair follicles I have on my head just stood up watching that video.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was so scared.
Well, let's talk about better things right now. Traffic. Right now, things are looking okay out there. We had one accident that just came up. It's going to be on the off-ramp. If you're coming I-10 westbound, the off-ramp to... Oh, sorry, this is a stalled vehicle first. I'm sorry. This is a stalled vehicle. It's an 18-wheeler stalled in the southbound lanes of 35. I have some TransGuide footage of this, but this is an accident I'm talking about right here. Westbound I-10 East off-ramp to Probant Street. Apparently, it's a one-vehicle accident, so it's a minor accident. However, that vehicle did spill some fuel on that off-ramp, and vehicles are now slipping when they head that way. So just keep that in mind. If you are going I-10 and you're exiting Probant Street, be careful on that off-ramp. It could be slippery right now because of a fuel leak. Here's a TransGuide here. Here's the footage I have right here. It's an 18-wheeler stalled on the right shoulder of the southbound lanes of 35. Be careful if you're heading that way. It looks pretty disabled, so I don't know how long it's going to be there, and I don't know if there's any calls for service to get that out of the roadway.
Thank you, Nick.
Rage yoga. I do that all the time when I'm driving. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Minus the
I had to
poses.
throw that one in there. Take a look at this picture, and yeah, the caption is, got to check the calendar, see if it's still January. Okay, this is going to be changing. It will be back to January by tomorrow night and especially on Sunday. Lots of fog out there by the airport, and visibility is still just at a couple of hundred yards. It's improved slightly in New Braunfels. Port SA is up to 3 miles, but a half mile at Randolph, a half mile up the road in Bernie, and a lot around Castroville. Seems like the thickest fog is centered right on top of San Antonio right now. Austin's at a half mile visibility, and we do have some scattered rain around the area. So other than the mist and drizzle, which is making roads damp, there's obviously some showers out there. Everything is continuing to slide up to the north as that moisture continues to pump on in here from the Gulf of Mexico. Most of it's on the light side. Got a couple of those yellow spots there, so a few moderate showers. And what we're gonna have to watch out for later on today, not only more showers and a couple of thunderstorms, but some hefty downpours like we had yesterday, because there's an unusual amount of moisture in the air for this time of year. Temperatures, 40s in the hill country and then 60. So we've got a 25 degree difference between kind of north and south around here. And that's because that front was lying across the area, and it will start to work its way back up to the north. So any lower humidity and cooler temperatures you have in the hill country are going to go away throughout the day. More showers scattered about the area. I think we'll see a bit of a lull in the action, maybe later on this evening, and then in the overnight hours. Then tomorrow morning, another line of showers. A lot of computer models are picking this up. A line of showers and even a couple of thunderstorms are going to be sliding on through here and working their way down to the south. Some models want to try and get another little bit of energy moving on in here to give us an afternoon or early afternoon shower. Then we continue to clear out by tomorrow night and into Sunday. And so that's when, like I said, it's going to continue or start to feel more like January. A few more clouds than late on Sunday. But I think of the 2 days over the weekend, or even though it's a long 3-day weekend, of the 3 days, Sunday's going to be the prettiest. 66 degrees today at noon. Showers, couple of thunderstorms, even a few heavy downpours. Watch out for that today. 70 for a high temperature, so we're still going to be on the above normal side. Now, we start off very mild tomorrow, stay in the mid 60s, closer to normal. Rain in the morning, and then we're going to start to clear out. Sunday looks like a pretty good looking day, about a normal low temperature, but we stay in the mid 50s for a high. And then Monday, lots of clouds, maybe a shower or two, and it's going to be chilly on Monday, especially if you're going to be at that March. Chilly Tuesday, and really through the first half of next week, a better chance of rain Thursday.
Well, people will be bundled up, but I'm sure it'll still be a big crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, Mike.
621, 63 degrees.
And today is the day a new album by the late Mac Miller is out. His family releasing a dozen of his previously unreleased songs, but another rapper gave us a surprise album overnight as well. Guess who's back? Back again with new music.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it right now on KSAT.com for your chance to win a $25 gift card from We Are Circle K.
If your adventure keeps turning into unexpected bathroom trips, you may have overactive bladder or OAB.
Not again. We're seeing a doctor when we get home.
Mirbetriq treats OAB symptoms of urgency, frequency, and leakage. It's the first and only OAB treatment in its class.
Mirbetriq may increase blood pressure. Tell your doctor right away if you have trouble emptying your bladder or have a weak urine stream. Mirbetriq may cause serious allergic reactions like swelling of the face, lips, throat, or tongue, or trouble breathing. If experienced, stop taking and tell your doctor right away. Mirbetriq may interact with other medicines. Tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold or flu symptoms, sinus irritation, dry mouth, urinary tract infection, bladder inflammation, back or joint pain, constipation, dizziness, and headache.
Looking for a destination that isn't always the bathroom? Ask your doctor if Mirbetriq is right for you and visit mirbetriq.com.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an everyday couple turned incredible heroes. Amanda Disley and her husband Benny Correa were driving with their family Wednesday night in Springfield, Massachusetts. Aware of reports that 11-year-old Charlotte Mosia was forced into a blue Honda, reportedly kicking and screaming. And then Benny saw it.
I said, yo, babe, that's that car. That's that car. I seen that car. You showed me that car. That's the car.
They pulled up a post on social media to confirm and started to follow him.
My husband reversed on the main road.
Right onto the main road.
We blocked him.
To block him in.
He jumped over a curb, and that's when the high beams flashed right into his driver, and I saw his complete face.
Local police praising the public for their help. And coming up at 7 a.m., this fast-thinking couple will be live on Good Morning America to tell their heart-stopping story. It's an ABC News exclusive you won't want to miss. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
And if you've been waiting to listen to new music, today might be your day.
We already knew about a new Mac Miller album coming out today, but Eminem also surprised the music world with a new album at midnight. Eminem's album is called Music to be Murdered By, is a homage to legendary filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock's 1958 album with the same name.
Meanwhile, Circles is the first album from Mac Miller since he's died, with his family compiling some of his unreleased songs. It is the companion album to his 2018 album Swimming. Now, Miller died that same year of a drug overdose. You can listen to both albums right now on various streaming platforms.
Right now, 626, 63 degrees.
Ahead in our next half hour, how you can help the 100 Club of San Antonio. It's a KSAT community event, and you can be a part of it.
What an adorable puppy. And after the break, leading SA, what Councilman Manny Ply says needs to happen in the Alamo City this year.
A man who was shot early this morning in the head on the east side, surviving that gunshot wound. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. We'll let you know how police are continuing to search for that suspect or suspects involved.
For only the third time in history, a U.S. impeachment trial is underway. Find out what one alleged Trump insider is saying about what he claims was a pressure campaign against Ukraine. I'm Karina Mitchell in New York with that story coming up.
Right now, we're looking outside with live cam on your Friday morning. Another foggy start. Mike is tracking a band of showers out there. We'll see where that's at and where it's headed next. Good morning to you. It is Friday. It is January 17th.
Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Friday. Nick's here with an update on how things have been looking so far this morning. We've been on the air 2 hours. How we're headed in the home stretch. How are we looking?
Other than an accident on I-10 in Probant, things are looking very good right now.
Well, good, considering what it looks like outside.
I was going to say, despite the fact that it's so foggy and wet out there, but the commute's just kind of getting rolling now at 6:30, going in through about 8:30. We do have little cooler temperatures, believe it or not. We're still at the normal high right now, basically, but the showers and some fog. And then later on this afternoon, we're going to be up to 70. We'll have some more showers scattered about the area, and a couple of thunderstorms are possible. Even one or two of those heavier downpours like we had around here yesterday, because at times it was really coming down. There was one report I saw in Kerr County about a little over 3 inches of rain came down yesterday.
And it wasn't just the rain, it was the wind and the chill that moved in late in the afternoon.
What a difference.
That little bit of a front moved on through parts of the area, and then we had the rain-cooled air that moved down as well. Now, we're back to the warm, humid kind of muggy conditions, if you will. And out there at the airport, still got a lot of fog. Randolph, a fair amount of fog as well. New Braunfels has improved slightly. Bernie's thick fog, Castroville as well. And nothing is pea super. And actually, the thickest fog is here at the airport being reported as of right now. And we'll continue to see some of this throughout the morning. There's the showers, and this picture really hasn't changed that much from earlier this morning. Pretty much, all around the area, we've got the scattered rain. A couple of moderate showers here in southwestern Medina County, and in town on the west side, there's a few showers there. All the mist and drizzle, of course, associated with the fog, so that's why the roads are damp this morning. And again, temperatures are in the 60s right now, but 40s out in the hill country, so that was some of that colder air in behind that front. That's going to be going away today. You're going to see the humidity come back in here, and as the front kind of moves back up to the north, but then another front tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in longer weather. Mountain cedar went up yesterday. For some reason, didn't have a big blast of northwesterly wind, but also mold went up, and I have a feeling that's going to be going up. And tomorrow we've got some pretty strong winds in the afternoon. You know what that's going to do to those mountain cedar trees. Details on the weekend coming up. It'll feel more like January later in the weekend as well. Time saver traffic right now. Yeah, it is kind of unusual with all this yuck out there that only had a couple accidents earlier this morning.
Yeah, it was like today we were busy early, and then like yesterday we were busy towards the end. So more of the opposite, but 7 a.m. usually brings some more accidents to the rush hour traffic. So be careful if you're heading out there. It's a little foggy. Make sure you put your hazards on if you have to, if you have no visibility. Keep your spacing, and make sure you have no distractions in that vehicle, because it could be dangerous, and I want everyone getting to work safely. Let's take a look at a stalled vehicle we have here on 35 southbound at O'Connor Road. It's a stalled 18-wheeler. No one's on scene there yet. It is on the right shoulder. Be careful there. This accident here, I talked about the last cut-in. It's westbound I-10 East, the off-ramp to Proband Street. It's a one-vehicle accident where the vehicle leaked fuel. Reports say that the ramp there is slippery and cars were slipping. So use caution if you're heading that way. Drive times, if you're on eastbound 151 to 1604 to 90, 10 minutes. And if you're on 90 eastbound to 1604 to 35, 12 minutes. Great times there. Taking a look at the TransGuide, 410 at Exchange Parkway. That's looking really good. That's 410 in Jackson Keller. Traffic definitely starting to pick up everywhere around the city right now. And 410 at Broadway looking a little bit light to moderate. So good news there. Well, I hope everyone has a great morning and a great day. Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. This morning, a man shot in the head overnight. Now police are looking for the person who shot him. It happened near Stripes in the 4000 block of East Houston Street. Our Sarah Costa is live with the latest. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Stephanie. And this is the Stripes where that man was found after he was able to drive off after being shot in the head. Police say they got the call just before 12:30 last night to the 4000 block of East Houston Street. Police say there was some kind of altercation involving the victim not too far from this Stripes on Houston at the Edge Apartments. The Edge Apartments, that's right off of I-10 behind a Starbucks. It was at that complex where shots were fired. The man who was shot was able to drive off in his location after being shot in the head. Police say the victim rammed the gate of the complex. Police found the man's bumper by the highway. That's when he pulled into the Stripes right next to the entrance of Wheatley Heights Sports Complex. He was taken to BAMC in critical condition with a gunshot wound to the head. Police say they have little information on the suspect or suspects involved, and they continue to look for them this morning. Live from the east side, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. 6:35, the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the green spaces around us might seem simple, but keeping these resources at a high quality can be a difficult task.
But Councilman Manny Pelaez says that is one of his top priorities for the year. In this week's leading essay, the councilman tells Max Massey the importance of our natural resources, or what the issues are now and what's coming up next.
Councilman Pelaez tells me that the north side is the guardian of the aquifer, and the majority of the drinking water we get in San Antonio comes from the aquifer. So protecting the natural resources here is a big deal.
We're going to be putting a tremendous amount of pressure on that aquifer, which means that we need to look at, different ways of bringing water to San Antonio as opposed to just drawing down on that aquifer every time, which is why, I'm excited about desalination, projects at SAWS. I'm excited about the direction in which SAWS is going and exploring how it is they're sourcing water from outside of San Antonio to bring it in.
The increased pressure on the aquifer that the councilman is talking about stems from that anticipated population growth. Now, there's a big decision looming on San Antonio.
And we have to decide how it is that we're going to continue to pay for the protection of our aquifer. A lot of folks don't know this, but San Antonians voted many years ago to use 1/8 of their sales tax here in San Antonio to invest in aquifer protection. That's going away.
But it's not just the water in District 8 that's a top priority. The councilman also addresses the growing air quality issue.
And San Antonio is increasingly worse when it comes to asthma incidents, particulates in the air. We need to continue to make sure that the air that we breathe is clean.
So as more families move to the Alamo City and move to the northwest side, that means more development, more houses, more businesses, and more apartments. And that could mean a trade-off for green areas.
People need to realize, and I'm learning this too, is that building new things is a commitment that we're making long-term to our natural resources and our environment out there, and the beauty, right, and the character of the north side.
Councilman Plies tells me that he strives to never stop having these conversations about the aquifer, the air quality, and the natural resources that impact San Antonio. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
And for only the third time in history, the United States Senate has opened a presidential impeachment trial. It comes as new allegations emerge about President Donald Trump.
Critics are saying new information proves the president and members of his administration have been caught lying about pressure on Ukraine. ABC's Karina Mitchell has more.
Pretrial proceedings are underway after an historic day. Chief Justice John Roberts taking the oath to oversee the trial against President Trump, swearing in the senators.
So help you God.
Lead manager Adam Schiff formally presenting the two articles of impeachment.
Impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Democrats trying to make the case that the president pressured Ukraine into investigating political rival Joe Biden.
That was the most important thing, is for him to stay on for another 4 years and keep the fight going.
Overnight, Lev Parnas, the indicted former associate of Mr. Trump's personal attorney Rudy Giuliani, telling CNN's Anderson Cooper,
it was all about 2020. There was no other reason for doing it.
A claim the president denies.
Don't know where he comes from, know nothing about him. I can only tell you this thing is a big hoax.
Parnas denies those claims, saying he'd be willing to testify. Meantime, the Government Accountability Office, a nonpartisan watchdog group, says the Trump administration broke the law in withholding aid to Ukraine. The White House denies the claim.
At least one Republican, Senator Susan Collins from Maine, says she's likely to want to hear further witness testimony, but adds she'll hold off on making a final decision until opening arguments are presented. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Tonight, the 100 Club working with our KSAT community partners to raise money for canine units. Aww. They're auctioning off an 8-week-old white lab puppy at their casino event tonight.
What a cutie. The event is called Boots and Badges, and it starts at 7 tonight. For more information, you can go to our website at ksat.com and go to the community tab.
Oh,
so cute.
Oh, just about to yawn.
Oh, look at that.
Just pass out like
taking a little
too.
nap. How cute.
Precious. 640, 63 degrees.
And if you're hungry this morning, like we are, this might make your tummy growl a little more. Just ahead, Erica Hernandez talking about menudo in Flavor Faves.
643 Flavor Faves returns this morning with a new twist on the series.
Our Erica Hernandez will be joining us now with more about it and also talking about National Menudo Month.
Erica, first, what's so different about Flavor Flaves? I'm sorry. Editorializing.
We got a little sidetracked there.
We're honest here.
Yeah.
Foggy brain, maybe?
Yeah, so what's a little different is we're not necessarily spotlighting restaurants. We're going to talk about food and talk about the history behind food. So that's why this month we're looking at menudo. Now, we're talking about a dish that means either love or hate. So here's a little more about the history of menudo and what it actually is. Menudo is a Mexican soup made with beef tripe, the stomach lining of the cow, and hominy. Different regions of Mexico claim to have invented the soup, but the northern region claims its farmers were the ones to create it from spare parts of a slaughtered cow. Currently, the dish can be found at restaurants all over San Antonio, but most prefer a homemade bowl. Everyone has a special way of making it as well. As for my mom, she loves to include a lot of hominy, pig's feet for flavor,
and have a lot of spice to it. It can be topped with onions, cilantro, a squeeze of lemon or lime juice, and a corn or flour tortilla on the side. The dish takes 3 to 5 hours to cook and is said to be the perfect cure for a hangover, and is usually served on Saturday and Sundays in restaurants here in town.
Now, right down on ksat.com, I share my mom's recipe with you, and also include 10 of the many places here in town where you can get a bowl of menudo. You guys, we kind of talked about this during the break. You're not fans.
I have tried it and I wasn't.
I'm afraid to commit live on television. I'll say I'll try anything once, so I'm going to say.
So you've never tried it?
Well, I grew up with it.
I've tried it before. What I'm saying is I'm willing to give it another shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you said you liked it until you found out what it was?
Yeah, as a child, I was like, oh, this is great stuff. And then, I found out, I was like, oh. Yeah.
Right. To each his own, and I know it's a huge part of our culture in San Antonio.
It's everywhere here in town. I know I just listed 10 places, but you could probably find it.
It gets colder around here again. I'm going to try it.
Okay. All right. There you
Don't need the hangover, though.
Guess what he's having for dinner on Sunday evening?
That's right.
Menudo.
Erica's mom's going to bring you a pot.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm wondering, Nick, what's been your experience with menudo?
Well, my dad always made it growing up. It's really good. I enjoy it, especially when you dip flour tortillas in it. It's very good.
Yeah, that is good.
Right there, yes. Well, what's not looking good is this accident on I-10 in Proban. I got some TransGuide footage of that now. It looks like the whole ramp is blocked off. We're still working on this stalled vehicle on 35 and O'Connor Road. It's an 18-wheeler right there on the shoulder. Be careful. This accident, this is the one that just came out westbound I-10 off-ramp to Proban Street. Now it looks like there's down power lines, down street signs, and looks like TxDOT has a work order to go fix those up, and a fuel leak. So very dangerous right now. If you're going westbound I-10, expect delays and expect to go back around. I'll try to get you some alternate routes because the off-ramp to Proban Street is in fact shut down. Drive times, eastbound I-10 from FM 46, 1604, 38 minutes, and eastbound northwest side of 1604 to 35 is 14 minutes. Here is that accident there. Right there where all those emergency responders are, that's the off-ramp to Proban from I-10 westbound. It is shut down completely right now. Expect a delay there. Well, traffic's not too bad, though.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. But
not bad, considering.
Call me chicken. I'll take caldo over a menudo any day. But that's, again, that's just me being pollo.
It's a nice
Yeah, I get it. You being pollo. That's cute.
Yep, I am. I admit it.
Did you take long to think of that one?
No. It just popped into my head. Now it's gone.
Love it.
Picture of the week. Take a look at this little guy. Look at him splashing around in a puddle. If there's a puddle, kid's going to splash in it. And I want to check out the wardrobe there. We've got
I got the rain boots.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Those are
probably
cars.
pajama pants. The Tow Mater rain boots. The cape. I wore my capes when I was
and a fedora.
And the hat.
It's the Osterhaus Jr. starter pack.
I love it. I love it.
Actually, my youngest used to almost wear an outfit like that all the time with his Tinker Toy sword. So anyway, great picture. I love that. I love that. Thank you very much for that. Made our day. All right, a lot of fog out there right now, and we still have visibility down to just a hand in front of your face pretty much out there at the airport. New Braunfels, a lot of fog. Castroville, Bernie, not bad down around Stinson, Pleasanton. And again, keep saying that the thickest is right here centered on the airport out there. 410 and Broadway area, 410, 281. A lot of light to moderate rain around the area. Notice how there are a couple of spots northwest of San Marcos, and then this one just to the west of Hondo with a couple of decent downpours. And you can expect a few decent downpours or even some heavy downpours later on today because we've got kind of an unusual amount of moisture in the atmosphere for this time of year. So all this is sliding obviously up to the north. We had that front move through here. Notice the cell right there going across 90. That's got a couple of heavier downpours in it. We had the front sort of move through yesterday, and so that's why temperatures are in the 40s in the hill country right now, 60s elsewhere. But the front's going to sort of do an about face and work its way back up to the north, and so the humidity is going to come back in the hill country. Then we'll have the main front come through tomorrow. Scattered showers around the area today. I think we may actually have a bit of a lull in the action then as we go into the evening hours and overnight. Then another line of showers tomorrow morning, and those will continue to push on out of here, even a couple of lingering ones in the afternoon. finally will start to clear out by the evening hours tomorrow, and Sunday looks like a great day, especially starting off nice and cold, and then more clouds are going to sort of work their way back in here by Sunday. Then we have progressively cooler temperatures coming on in. Sunday is going to feel more like January and will be a little bit on the below normal side going into the first part of next week. 66 today at noon. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms, even a few heavier downpours around here. And I think maybe the rain is going to start to not be as widespread by later on this afternoon. Still going to say we have a couple of showers around here. And then tomorrow we'll start off with a few showers around in the morning, 1 or 2 leftovers early afternoon. And temperatures will stay at 65 degrees. Wind's going to pick up. Breezy tomorrow, much cooler Sunday, then much cooler next week. Lots of clouds, sort of that dampish chill, very chilly Tuesday morning, and highs only in the low 50s.
I will bring out all the jackets again.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. 10 till right now, 63 degrees. You're watching GMSA.
And keeping your immune system strong during flu season can be an uphill battle. So join us tomorrow on GMSA, where we show you some foods that can help you stay healthy.
Coming up, another look at time saver traffic. If you're headed out the door at 7 o'clock, you have about 9 minutes.
New this morning, police are investigating a shooting where a man was shot in the head near the Stripes on the east side. Police say they got the call just before 12:30 this morning. There was some kind of altercation involving the victim not too far from the Stripes on East Houston at the Edge Apartments. That's right off I-10 behind a Starbucks. It was at that complex where shots were fired. The man who was shot was able to drive off in his car to this location at the Stripes. Police say the victim rammed the gate of the complex. They found the man's bumper by the highway. That's when he pulled into the Stripes right next to the entrance of Whitley Heights Sports Complex. He was taken to BAMC in critical condition with a gunshot wound to his head. Police continue to search for the suspect or suspects involved. From the east side, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
After more than a week on the road, Spurs back on the home court tonight. Silver and Black take on the Atlanta Hawks this evening. Tip-off is set for 7:30 tonight at the AT&T Center. Go Spurs, go.
Yes, go Spurs, go. And one last check of traffic with all the foggy conditions out there.
Yeah, still working on those same accidents. We had another accident that just came out. I-10 at Santa Rosa near downtown, a 3-car accident. I'll get you on more information here on that accident here soon. We have this stalled vehicle. We're still working on the accident at Probant. And to show you all that real quick, here's that accident, and then here's a stalled vehicle at 35 and O'Connor. It's 18-wheeler. Be careful heading that way.
A lot of damp roads out there. We do have a lot of fog still. Very low visibility out at the airport, just a couple of 100 yards, and light to moderate showers continue to work their way through the area. So grab your umbrella and a light rain jacket. 60s right now, 40s in the hill country. It's going to get warmer out in the hill country today. We'll make it up to 70. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms, maybe a heavier downpour here and there. We'll still have some rain in the first part of the day tomorrow. Then finally the front's going to move through, breezy in the afternoon, and it'll finally feel like January Sunday, and even colder than that. Kind of cloudy and chilly to start off the first part of next week.
I got you. So all the people wishing for cold weather will get their wish. Thank you, Mike.
Good Morning America is next. We're back for GMSA at 9. See you in a couple hours.